I think, well, my story really started when I was 18, just finishing school, leaving to go to university, and I could really see that my hair was starting to recede. And a lot of friends would sort of come up with comments to say your hair's receding a bit. And it didn't bother me at the start, and then I suppose I moved through university and it started to get to me a little bit. And then I think the big decision for me is when I was in financial services and I was in the marketing team. And to be in marketing, you really need to look the part. And I was offered a job in New Zealand, which I flew to New Zealand to get the job. And I was told more or less that I'd got the job. And then when they saw me in the reception, it was almost, you could tell instantly there was something wrong. So I was then informed that the post I'd went for had been filled the previous day and there'd been a mistake. And I later found out off colleagues that it was because they didn't think I looked the part for this marketing post. And I think that was a punch in the gut for me. And it was, confidence dropped dramatically, my hair loss dropped dramatically as well. I could really see it receding. And I think the hair loss started when I was 18. By the time I was 25, it was bad. I was avoiding silly things like spotlights in the ceiling. Every time I went under a spotlight, you could see it instantly. You could really see the skin under the hair. And then that's when I started to do my research, which a lot of people don't do. And then they end up in a lot of problems because they maybe go and see a surgeon that's maybe not as qualified as they make out to be. So I think your research is key. So I made a lot of research. I flew to Canada to get a procedure, a strip procedure, and that went well. If I'm honest, it went well, but I felt as if there was certain areas that weren't covered correctly. So I went back to Canada 2 years later and got that rectified. And then I would say in early 2014, I noticed sort of the middle of my hair wasn't as good as I felt. I was pleased with my temples, etc., but not sort of the middle and the front and the hairline. And that's when I started looking into this clinic. And I met with the clinic and then we had a chat, and that's when I decided to go for the 2-day procedure. A bit of a background about myself: I'm a comedian, an actor, and I think there's a lot of onus and there's a lot of pressure put on people in show business to look the part. You very rarely see bald comedians on television. It's not what I would say, and I'm completely open and honest. It's not a vanity project with myself. It's nothing to do with vanity, arrogance. It's to do with, I would say, personally, I wouldn't say I was depressed about my hair loss, but it did get me down. I would always wear hats. Friends would tease you, but they wouldn't really realise the effect that teasing would have on you. So you would maybe stop going out to bars and things, stopped going out to nightclubs. In previous relationships, girlfriends had said, "Oh, you're thinning on top a little bit." And again, just an observation, but that really sort of hurt inside. So I think your confidence did take a bit of a dip, or my confidence personally. And then obviously I had the chat here, and it seemed to go very well. Extremely professional as well, which I really liked. I could go into the operating theatre and see people that were having the procedure. Everything was explained. They were also very honest about the coverage. I mean, you're not going to come here and they're going to give you an absolute big afro of hair. There is only so much they can do, but they do it very well. And they use all the grafts very efficiently. So that's when I decided to go ahead with the 2-day procedure. And from the minute I walked in the door, they made me feel at ease. Everyone from the receptionist right through to the surgeon, and the aftercare has been second to none. I'm very happy with the result. I know that I'm literally just out the operating theatre, so I've had my 2-day procedure. It's a long 2 days, and I think I would sum it up to say, when you maybe go on a course at work, a 2-day course, and you don't enjoy it, you'll say, "I'll never get that 2 days of my life back. Or if you go to a football game and you're not very happy about the result, you'll say, I'll never get that 90 minutes back. But I can assure you that the 2 days that I've had in this surgery, I'll reap the rewards for years. And I personally do feel with this transplant it will help me in my career as a comedian. Believe it or not, I've got friends that are comedians that are losing hair, that do panel shows, that do very high profile comedy shows, BBC One, ITV, etc. I won't name them, but you probably know who they are. And instantly when they go into the makeup room department, people are out with toe pack, they're out with shaking it on their head, getting all the bald bits off their head, patching up the back, the bald spots, because it is an industry where you really do need to look good, which is a shame really. I personally call it baldism, in terms of you're discriminated against sometimes for actually being bald, and I personally was when I applied for that marketing post. But very pleased with the transplant, and I'm really looking forward to the results. It was almost a confidence thing, because going into auditions now, I'm a lot more confident. I know it sounds silly, and this might sound crazy to say this, but it goes back to times where you have the story of Samson, where he lost his hair and he lost his power, and it seems a bit strange because you feel as if when you get your hair back, you've almost got that confidence and you can put your shoulders back again, and that's what it personally did for me. Hi, so my name's Stuart Mitchell. I'm a comedian and I'm based in Glasgow in Scotland, and I think I chose this clinic really because I'd heard a lot of good things about it online, on forums, and obviously the Wayne Rooney thing was a big pull for me as well. And I'd also seen a lot of small independents in Scotland, almost like touring companies that would come in for a week or so in separate offices in Glasgow and perform procedures, and it put me off a bit, and believe it or not, I saw a Groupon deal for a hair transplant which terrified me to death. Why anyone would do that. I'm a big believer that if you want something done, you need to really invest to get it done correctly. There's no point maybe going to someone that's maybe a little bit cheaper, but you're never going to get the results that you want. And I sort of walked around the block a few times and then came into the front door, and even from the receptionist downstairs, they were very welcoming. And again, when you come upstairs, you're really welcomed at the door and you're taken through to the consultation room, and you talk about what it is you want from a hair transplant, and it's all about you. It's not about what the surgeons want and the maximum amount of grafts they can get and the maximum money they can get out of you. Really, it's all about you and what you want and the best procedure for yourself. And it's always funny because when you first get it done, you're constantly looking in the mirror every single day to see if things are changing. Particularly when you're driving, you need to watch you don't crash the car, because you're always looking in your wing mirror and you nearly crash into the person in front of you. And I think it was about 3 months in after the transplant that you start to see small growth in your head, and then 6 months in you really start seeing it coming through. And because you're constantly looking for it every day, you might not notice a difference until you actually look at a before and after picture. And family and friends definitely pick up on it. I know now I'm a year in, just over a year, and people that meet me will always say there's something different about you, but they don't really know what, and that's a good thing, because sometimes you might not want to tell people you've had a hair transplant. I don't really mind, it doesn't bother me at all. If it makes me feel better, then that's the main thing. People go and get new veneers in their teeth, they go and get facial procedures, whatever, so I don't see any difference from a hair transplant. When I started losing my hair, probably the worst when I was 25, that's when I really noticed it was really bad. And then it wasn't until obviously I was 30 until I made the decision to go for a transplant. And working in the comedy and entertainment business and going for auditions, it was funny because before my transplant I was always casting for auditions that were like between 30 and 32 or really older than what I was, and that was a confidence thing for me, and it really got me down. And some of the parts that I got, I was like, God, I can't believe I'm doing this and I'm only 26. And I think once I got my hair transplant, it was pretty amazing actually, because Now I'm going for castings, and for instance, I went for a casting a couple of weeks ago, and the part was between 22 and 26. So I noticed just through material things that I was being cast as a younger age, and actually getting ID'd as well in Marks and Spencer's, which you need to be over 25, and I could have grabbed the woman and gave her a massive kiss because I was so delighted. And it's just silly things like that that may not think a lot to the normal person, but to me that's a huge thing. And I would say, because my confidence has been lifted in my career, I'm going a lot further now, I'm working a lot harder, I'm getting a lot more than what I got in the past, and who knows if that's down to the transplant or not, but at the same time it's given me, the transplant without doubt, it's given me the confidence, and if that's helped to get further in my career, then that's a bonus.